Good morning, everybody. How are you? Welcome to Sewing Street with me, Vicky Carroll. Lovely to have your company as always. And we've got a jam-packed show for you. So I'm just going to do a quick how you get in touch with us and a very, very quick how you buy before we get started, because we've got Jane Greenoff here with loads of goodies. I mean, loads and loads of goodies. Our whole table is packed full of brand new kits and all sorts for you. So very exciting show today. If you want to purchase, watch us or get involved, then you can do it via our website, which is www.sewingstreet.com. Now, I presume that everybody's seen us for years and years, but we're only, less than a week old. Can you believe it? Tomorrow will be a week live on air, which is crazy. But anyway, so at the moment, there's still, as you know, loads going on behind the scenes at the moment, and we are constantly developing. So our website is in the midst of getting developed at the moment. We've got a brand new, amazing website on its way. At the moment, we're using our sister channel, Jewellery Maker. I'll point over there because that's where they are, over there. Jewellery Maker's website. So it will automatically redirect you to this, and then, oh, look, there you go. Can you see a lovely... Oh, there we are. There we are, live. So then if you, was that you then, Paul? Then if you sign up to our newsletter, that will keep you in the loop of everything that's going on. Underneath is everything that has been available. We haven't got Jane's stuff on there yet. They will be loaded. Oh, it is on... I think I probably need to refresh my screen. Refresh your iPad. If you're anything like me and have just had this on all the time, then you can refresh and you'll see all of the goodies that are coming up. So that's how you can watch live and purchase all the pieces. Make sure you create your new account of Sewing Street, and then you can be there ready to go when there's something that you want to purchase. If you do want to watch, of course, at the moment, today we're channel 73 on Freeview, or you can catch up on YouTube. Tomorrow, be aware, tomorrow you watch us as normal on 73 at 9 till 10. Then at some point in the afternoon, we will jump channels, just one channel on Freeview, so we'll be on channel 74. Still the same on Freeview, but we're just moving along one channel. Now, the new home, it will say, don't worry if you can't see Sewing Street on your programme list, as it will say Shopping Quarter. But it is us. It is us. Sewing Street will be there 9 a.m. every morning. Do make sure you join us. 74 on Freeview. If you can't find it, you might need to try and retune your TV. If you have any problems whatsoever, please call our customer service team or message us on our Facebook page and we can help you through it. It's all a huge community, obviously, so please do message us on the Sewing Street Facebook page. Right. 1p&p. All day long, remember, no matter how many times you check out, and trust me, today we've got so many goodies, you're going to want to use that multi-bid option. So should we get going, because we've got so much to do. There's our Facebook page, Sewing Street TV. Find us on Facebook and send in any of your messages for the lovely Jane Greenoff, ladies and gentlemen. Hello.
Hello, love.
How are
everyone?
you?
Fine. Welcome. It's lovely, isn't it? Wonderful to be back.
It's been such a whirlwind of a few weeks,
busy
hasn't it?
week.
Yes.
Busy week.
Well, we saw, obviously, you came down, one of the first people to be in the studio for the pre-record, and I know you've had so many messages about it.
Oh, it's been incredible. And the numbers of people who've viewed it on YouTube, I mean, it's an amazing resource, isn't it?
Absolutely.
One doesn't realise, I don't think, just how extraordinary it is. Yeah. So it's been very exciting. We were very sad when the old channel closed, and Andrew and I at the Cross-Stitch Guild show, we've been at shows, people have been distraught, in tears. So to the fact that it's back and it's going to be a similar sort of friendly thing.
Format, that's it.
And welcome everybody, whether you're good at it or not, which I think is the most important message to get across.
Yeah, that's it. You don't need to be an expert to enjoy this channel and this platform. I know that a lot of people have found the channel very, very inspirational and found you very inspirational as well.
Well, it's very nice of you to say so. I mean, I have had some smashing messages, I must say.
I must say my mom is a huge fan. She said, gosh, she's inspired me to have a go at it as well. If you've not met Jane Greenoff, you're a specialist in cross-stitch,
yes,
aren't you?
Anything that's counted is what I do. So I started off learning cross-stitch 30-something years ago when a neighbour showed me something she was stitching, and I've been stitching ever since. We refer to BC, before cross-stitch and after cross-stitch. I used to make my own clothes before cross-stitch. But
Oh,
there
right.
isn't.
Do you still do that now?
Well, I do make linen trousers still because I'm too mean to buy them, actually. But yes, I mean it's there isn't any time really. I mean, I retired as the managing director of the Cross Stitch Guild 3 years ago, and Andrea Thompson took over, and she's making a smashing job. But I didn't expect to, 3 years down the track, be designing as much as I am and working in my cubbyhole. I've got a little tiny office in the roof of the house, and it's heavenly.
So you're still, even though you sort of stepped back, you're still doing as much?
Well, yes. My husband says I've now dropped to 40 hours a week instead of 60. He actually said that to friends yesterday, and I was a bit annoyed with him, really. Never mind, anyway, it's all good. And I mean, as long as I'm still loving it and Andrea's prepared to put up with me, I'm happy, you know. She's in the process of setting up the Stitch Festival at the Design Centre at Islington now.
Oh, brilliant.
So this has come at a remarkable time, really, because we weren't sure we were going to be able to get our act together in time to come and play with you. But
and I mean, you bought loads of goodies as well for us. Should we start with something that is, you know, what we all sort of aspire to be able to do? Because this box is absolutely amazing.
If I show you this, if I just go round and round a little bit, and then I'm just going to take the lid off. This makes me smile, actually. It was a bit of a bee to design, but it's. Did
you design this then?
Yes. So this is. I had a funny five one day and decided that I wanted to do an exploding box, so I had to learn how they worked.
Oh, that is so special.
You've obviously got the lid. Mm-hmm. Now, I've made one of these Biscornus. Now, this is this name for these slightly skew-width pin cushions.
I think we spoke about this, didn't we, last week in your pre-record? We spoke about this.
They're basically two squares, and then it's the way you join them together that gives you the effect. Now, mine's actually stitched in, but that's really to stop it getting pinched. You wouldn't believe what walks it shows, and I just thought that would encourage people to leave it alone. So that's obviously in the pack. You've got a little, what we call a watt bow. That's the little three-sided shape to go on a pair of scissors. And obviously the scissors will pop into the pockets.
So then there's pockets for your tools, notes, your needles,
yes.
Notes, scissors.
Yes, whatever you want. A little box to put your bits of thread in when you're working.
And so you've created not only this, but you've also broken down the instructions and put together a pack that you can make
Absolutely.
yourself.
And if I put the lid on, there's just one thing to show you. We're going to talk a little bit in a minute about working on linen or Aida fabric, because a couple of these items can be worked on either. Mm-hmm. Now, this is a reason sometimes you have to use linen, because the box design is worked on linen, as you can see, and it's worked over 2 fabric threads, but the little house on the top is worked over 1. Hence
you can see the difference, can't you?
You can see there.
Oh, wow.
So sometimes you have to use the even weave fabric.
So this one you need.
You can't. This one doesn't work on Aida.
Yeah.
But, well, you could do it on Aida. I'll qualify that because some people will. But you can't work that section.
Right.
You'd have to do something different with it. So that's the.
Oh, we love that.
That is not a first project. It's
absolutely.
Not a,
we don't want to put anybody off by saying this is your first project and then put people off. So
absolutely.
Just to warn you, this is for somebody that has done cross-stitch.
You must have worked from a chart before. I think is the fair.
This is how it comes, by the way. How
smart is this?
It's a box set.
I do love the box. I think they're posh shirt boxes.
And inside, let's open it up. You get loads of goodies. It's really special, isn't it?
It is a nice project. Whoops. There you go. I'll let you get at it and you can show all the scrumptiousness inside.
Nice. So, you get your little beads and your ring with your buttons, all of your pre-stranded
Yes,
cottons.
we've sorted the threads for you.
See, that's handy, isn't it?
Well, yes, I think with all the bigger kits we do that. It's partly for your convenience at home when you get your pack in the post. It's also about making sure the threads are sorted properly when there's a lot of colours the same. There is a tendency, if we send you a bundle, if they're difficult to decide which is which, people ring 2 days later to say I'm missing something, and they've got those 2 on the same hole.
Right.
So it does prevent that. So we have sorted them like so. These are Madeira stranded cotton. So
beautiful quality.
Yes, absolutely. We've been to the factory in Germany. We've seen these manufactured.
Oh, the colours are gorgeous, aren't they?
It is. This did work, didn't it?
It
does look
work
like an
very
old
well.
sampler.
You get a pair of scissors.
They're fiendishly sharp. Don't have any illusions because they're tiny. They're marvellous little scissors.
Oh, they're
but
lovely.
Very sharp.
You get those in the kit as well, so that's brilliant. You also get your little bit of felt.
For the bottom, yes.
For the bottom. You also get some extra, your gold-plated needles.
Yes, we do put the gorgeous gold-plated needles in this one.
Special as
As
that.
a treat for everybody.
And then all of your linen. So is
Let me grab that.
Oops. This part's for the, for your pockets.
Yes, this is the outside and the inside, and that's for the pockets, look. Can you see that?
Yeah.
This is lovely. I mean, I know I'm a bit odd, but I'm just going to prove it now by going... Yeah, I can smell. Can you smell soil? See, on raw linen, I can smell the ground. There's a sort of fustiness.
Yeah.
I know it's a bit sad, but...
It's like when you get a book, isn't it? When you smell a book.
It's like a new book. So this fabric is linen as it came off the plant.
Right.
So it's untreated. And this orange stripe down here tells you that this is from Zweigart and Whiskey. They make the best linen in the world.
There you go, so you get that. And then you come to all of your fabulous charts. So these are all of your charts all in there, all printed up.
You get your coloured ones and you get some black and white ones as well. Don't they come up well though?
They do.
This is, when I started stitching, I designed in black and white symbols. I still don't know how I did it, crosses and V's and L's and circles. But this is my cross-stitch programme, which some of you will have met before.
You still have got the key to them as well, haven't you?
The key, yes, there's a key, there's a symbol key. It's a funny thing because cross-stitchers, as a general rule, prefer black and white charts because you can colour in where you stitched.
Yeah, highlights, yeah.
And also the colours can be quite similar. If you looked at that one there, look, if you didn't have the symbol as well, that would be quite hard to see where the yellows change.
But actually, if we just leave that there,
yes,
you can see that the oranges... Can you see that, Paul? Sorry.
Yes, you can actually see that the changes in the colours.
They're so slight. We can see them a bit clearer in real life, but it does help to have those different
so that's why
symbols.
we use the symbol as well as the colour,
As well as your instructions.
Lots of instructions,
Lots of instructions, with images as well as text. So, that is a fabulous bundle all put together for you, £54.99. This isn't something that we'd necessarily say start with.
No, I wouldn't start with it.
No, don't start with it. But if you are after something to, really special, then that is beautiful and it's brand new. Never seen anything like that before. Love it. So let's go to the Biscornu, the Lily one.
Yes, I'm just going to pop this down for a minute, because I made a muddle of the box. There we go.
We'll keep that one to the side. So, this is your Biscornu, which is this one, isn't it?
Now, this, you see, could be a first project.
Brilliant.
It looks very grown up, actually. If you've never stitched from a chart before, never done a counted project, this would be a fab one to start, because you can work it on the linen or the Aida. Now, if you look at the other packet as well, and I grab my fabric samples...
So we have got it in Lily, and we've also got it in Aida, haven't we?
Yes.
So this is the linen one that we're holding. There's the linen one. It's £8.99. Brilliant price as well, isn't it?
It is a smashing project. And basically, you're going to stitch 2 squares, and how you put it together is how you get the funny shape. And you get the little shell buttons. All the buttons we use are natural, real. Yeah. So they're made of little shell. The threads this time are in a hank because they're easy to tell apart. You've got a black and white chart here, look.
Is it the same instructions for both linen or Aida?
Effectively, yes.
Effectively the same, it's just the fabric difference. So this is the Aida. We'll talk about the difference between the fabrics in a second.
You see, this is a chart, look. So this is very simple. If you think about this as a square, obviously, and when you start your cross stitch, you're going to fold your fabric into 4 sections, and you're going to mark the centre of the material with a little cross just there. And then you're going to count probably to one of these crosses, which is the dark green, and you're going to work those crosses. You maybe wander off down here, counting over quite short distances, and change colours so the circle with the line through it there is the coral. You do some coral there, running under the old stitches so that you don't travel across the back of the fabric, and it grows very quickly, and you're going to work 2 like that. And that's how you do it. And it can be done on Aida or on linen.
This one has been done on linen.
That's been done on linen. Now,
Okay.
if you work it on the Aida fabric, which I'm going to show you. Now, this is a slight complication because this one is actually linen Aida.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's got the colour of a linen,
so this
hasn't
is
it?
constructed like the Aida material that I've got here. If I just yank that out and show you. This is Aida. And this is 14 count Aidas. It was the first one invented.
Yeah, just so you can see the difference. I'm going to hold that up to the camera there.
Lovely. And then this one is constructed in the same way, but we've used linen thread to do it. So it's still got that slightly aged look.
Which I love. I think...
Yes, I mean, I like old things, you know, fortunately. Fortunately, I've been married to the same man for 42 years next Wednesday, so it's a good thing I like old things.
And he's lovely,
He is
isn't
lovely, yes, he is lovely. Yes, so you're going to work 2 squares, and what happens on this material is each one of those stitches that I pointed to is going to cover one of these boxes. So in a minute, I'll show you how to make just 1 stitch on that fabric.
Do you find the linen is easier, the Aida is easier?
Well,
what do people think? I
well,
mean, you started on linen, didn't you?
Only because I didn't know about the other.
Right.
The girl who was showing me gave me linen,
Yeah.
so that's what I stitched on. And the first project I did was something she bought me in a sale from Cheltenham, a little sampler, that was done on linen, so I didn't really know any different. Now, there's nothing... If you can't see very clearly to stitch on the linen, it's miserable because you struggle to do it, and that makes you want to throw it on the floor and stamp on it. So actually, it's much better if you can't, you use the Aida first, learn the technique, you know, make up one of these, and have your pins in it on your work table. Feel really pleased with yourself, and then you can move on to using linen if you find the linen more difficult. As I said, I learnt the other way. The thing to realise is that linen is worked over 2 threads and the Aida's worked over 1 box, so they're the same size when they're finished.
Right, that's good.
You're not going to end up with a big babyish looking or novice-like thing. It's going to look the same physical size.
Yeah.
So it's a matter of you choosing, am I likely to finish the Aida one and be pleased with myself? Or am I going to be fierce and go for the other? As I said, I started on linen because I didn't know any different. And as a result, as a result,
it means that
I wear it.
Yeah.
I like it. You know, people are going to be bored with me calling it rich wrinkles, but I'm always creased.
Yeah.
Because I do like wearing linen. I like the texture. I like the feel of it.
Yeah, I like linen a lot.
So yes.
And I do like this sort of, like you say, aged look that it gives you. It gives it a very
yes, that's right. You get a different,
different
finish to it,
so
don't you?
they're the 2 pin cushions that are available, and it's up to you whether you choose the linen or the Aida. Everything else in the kit, the strands, the chart, instructions are the same. I know that Hannah's been swapping between the graphics, so there's your linen one, just to remind you. The linen is the most popular, actually, at the moment.
Yes, I think probably people who watch me in the past know that it's my favourite. There are occasions when Aida's more useful. This is not about novice, it's about if you're working very square things like gingham, checks or tartan or a dogtooth pattern, then the Aida's very square and the design will look very impressive and very bold. So there are uses for both, really.
Brilliant. So that's a really lovely beginner project, actually.
It's
Those
a
of you
very
that want
nice
to...
thing to start with. Whoops.
It's not too daunting. I think a lot of people, when you imagine cross-stitch, you think of those big wall pieces, big wall hanging pieces that, look quite daunting.
You'll never end them.
That's it.
You know, you never finish. I'm in a position now where I'm often really physically quite sad when I finish a big one because I like it. But as a general rule, I now work all the small things and finish off and add the twiddles and bits and bobs. And I have a team of fabulous stitches who help me with the cross stitch because I run out of hours. Yeah. As I'm sure you appreciate.
Shall we go to the new Cross Stitchers Bible? Now, this is your book, isn't it?
Yes, it is. This book is the first edition, came out in 2000.
Okay.
And it was quite a thing to call a book the Bible because it does make inferences that it's going to have everything in it. So it was quite a daunting thing to do. But as a result of doing it, it went into 10 languages.
Oh, wow.
I've actually got Jane Greenoff of her.
Your name
Russian.
changes in Russian.
I know. It actually changes your name when they translate it. So this is the Cross Stitcher's Bible, which is... It says it's the definitive book.
It's signed.
Of course, herself. Look, you can tell because I smudged it slightly. Sorry. It was a proper pen.
Oh, thank you for signing.
So this is a book that starts with sorting out how to pull your threads apart, how to recognise what a needlework chart looks like, how to use colour, and then it goes right through the whole thing. There you are. That's a good example. You know what a chart could look like, the varieties of them. Mm-hmm. And how it turns into a piece of cross stitch. So it starts at the beginning. So whether you're an absolute novice or someone who's stitched for years, this is a very useful book because it covers using metallics, it covers working on canvas, right. It talks about all the different stitches you might want to use.
It's good because we can't have you with us every day, or we can't have you in the house with us every day.
No, definitely not.
So this is like having a little bit of Jane's knowledge in the living room with you. It's that encyclopedia.
Yes, it's a book you can sit and read. Yeah. You can also ignore a lot of it and go straight to the charts and the patterns at the back.
Like if you were in our house, Jane.
Just like that.
Yes. The gallery.
That's a good... Oh, this is the... I've got to keep it this way around. This is a good graphic here.
If we just bring it down slightly, that's it.
About there, look. This is to show you that when you work on Ada or linen, you can end up with exactly the same size pattern.
Yeah.
So that proves that this is not a beginner fabric as such. It's a fabric constructed differently. So that's quite a useful thing to look at.
Yeah, that's really good. So it goes from getting started. I mean, it's so comprehensive,
it's very
isn't
detailed,
it? It is very detailed. Yes. Lovely images as well. It is a very, very popular book indeed. As we say, it's gone worldwide.
It has gone worldwide. This
International.
And it's full of charts. Our wonderful Ethan Danielson, who's been our graphics chap for centuries, it feels like. He's done all the lovely charts and and this is the thing. You've got really quite technical, difficult concepts to grasp later on in the book with a very good stitch. This is Ethan's thing. He does these wonderful stitch diagrams for us, and the charts are all there as well. So you've got lots of stitching to do and reading and experimenting.
Fantastic. For £14.99, it is a signed copy. Finishing as well, that's brilliant. I've known how to finish it.
Yes, how to make things up at the end. Yes, exactly.
So, brilliant book, already extremely, extremely popular. It's £14.99. We are going to keep going through. As you can see, we've got so many goodies and we're only limited to an hour, so we will come back to that. £14.99, that is the new cross-stitch Bible.
And they're all signed by herself.
Thank you. I know you found hundreds of those for us, so thank you very much. The needles. Now, this was one of the, this is something that I was so thrilled that you managed to bring to us, because I know when we were, of course, Sewn Quarter, this is something we used to see sell in the hundreds every time you were on.
Hundreds we've sold, that's right. It was all a bit of a mistake, really, in a way. It happened years and years and years ago. I was in America on business. I went to a needlework shop and the shop proprietor said, "You obviously use a gold needle." And I thought it was a bit American, really.
So it's a bit of a novelty.
Bit of a novelty, a bit silly, you know. And anyway, she gave me two to try. One of them I stripped the gold off in 20 minutes or something. And the other one was marvellous, and I stitched with it all evening and started to scratch my head and investigated more. Came back from the United States, asked my needle supplier for gold-plated, and everyone laughed at me. So I eventually found, remember this is before the internet, so I spent a day on the phone with a phone book, found somebody in the Coventry area actually, who was prepared to gold plate size 24 needles for me. And he asked me how much gold I wanted.
And you...
Hadn't a clue.
No.
I mean,
well, how do you know?
How do you know? What does it come in?
Yeah.
Pounds, ounces?
Yeah.
I didn't know. Anyway, he said, well, the MOD has 2 microns on their detonators for grenades. I said, well, I think I want that.
Yeah, I was going to say, that'll do.
That'll do. I just don't want the gold to wear off. He said, well, it won't. So that's what I went with. We have 2 microns of gold put on our needles. And I say ours, obviously they're Cross Stitch Guild needles now. And I've never looked back.
So other than it being, quite a luxury and posh and fancy to say that you stitch with a gold-plated needle.
I wouldn't use anything else now.
What benefits do you think it actually has then?
Well, they slide in and out of the fabric more easily.
Right.
They don't mark when you're... I've got quite an acid perspiration, and I do strip nickel, make them go black. They don't... I like to have more than one needle going in a big project, so it doesn't mark your fabric. They don't rust. And I will also add that if you're doing knots, French knots or any of the other bullion knots, I wouldn't entertain doing them on a nickel-plated needle.
Right.
They just slide off on a gold one. I mean, once you've used them, you never go back. Yeah. And I mean, if there's anyone out there who's used my needles, you know, do let us know, because, I mean, I work on the theory that you will lose them long before the gold falls off, but we always maintain that if you can prove you bought them from us, we'd replace them if you strip the gold off.
Wow, well, that doesn't say fairer than that.
We get a little certificate. When each batch comes to us from the gold platers, they're done in sizes, obviously. They have any rejects in a little separate bag, so if the nickel plating wasn't adequate, we can see what the fault was.
Yeah.
And then the gold plating is measured, and if we did have a problem, they can go back and look at the batch and see. And touch wood, the only issue we've ever had was the size 28s, which are tiny needles and are ideal for one thread. So for backstitch, for details, for cat's whiskers, you know, for little things. And forcing 3 threads through can sometimes break the eye.
Right.
That's why there's an assortment.
So I was going to say, what are the different size needles that you've got here?
Well, you've got a beading needle for attaching beads, which in fact I don't
How do I know which one's which?
If you go from this list...
Oh, I see.
That's the beading. That's a sharp. Now, when we're doing cross stitch, we don't use a sharp needle, we use a blunt needle, because you're parting the threads rather than piercing the fabric. That's for making things up, like for instance the box.
Okay.
So I would use that, or for making this up, or putting felt inside a needlebook.
Yeah.
So that's a sharp. The curved one we use for box making or book making. These two are generally for hard-hanger embroidery, which we're going to come to in a minute.
Right.
And then these are all cross-stitch.
Oh, brilliant. So the value for your money is really good.
We've tried to come up with... It's what I have on my desk.
Okay,
Those
so
are what I have on
you
my
use.
desk. I have those sizes right there on my
go.
desk. So, you know...
Because sometimes when you get an assortment of things, you think, right, I'm only going to use that one, and the rest, they just
Absolutely.
go, they're
and
made
in fact,
redundant.
if once you've had a couple of these sets and you do know what you use in quantity, you can buy loose sets from the Guild in just one size. But it's really helpful to have the box, so you've got all the odds and bits and pieces as well, you know.
That's brilliant. Well done, everybody who's made the most of that. And please do let us know as well. We'd love to hear your feedback. I know Jane would love to hear your feedback.
Absolutely.
What you think. Now, before we get too excited, not doing it just yet, but I just wanted to let you know, yes, we have got it. The eagle eyes of you that managed to spot this. We've got the Stitch Book 4th edition with over 120 counted stitches and techniques. Lots of people have been asking about this one and if we had it on the show.
Yes, it's the latest final edition. Final, I'm saying this advisedly. We did this book, we actually did the book when the Cross Stitchers Bible was out of print briefly. And I wanted something that lay flat on my desk.
Yeah, so you can work
because sometimes I'll go to do, right, I'm going to do this stitch.
And you want to be able to literally
and
look at it completely.
Yes, exactly.
We're going to have a proper look at it in just a second. But
it is there.
Can we go to the teddy bear?
Of course.
Oh, now this I've never seen before. I absolutely love it. I just love that it looks like an ornamental piece that you could have on your side.
Absolutely. Now these are made of resin. We call them faux mahogany, but they're nothing to do with trees. Teddy's actually got a badge on that says JG.
Oh,
Me.
Can you see that? There
it's my bear.
Oh, I love that. The detail.
Here's a magnet.
So I was going to say, how is he relevant to cross stitch? But
there's a magnet in his bottom.
Oh, I love that. Brand new today. What a lovely little needle box for just £19.99. Because you shouldn't really put your needles in the side of the sofa or in your mouth, should you?
No.
No.
On the sofa, the arm of the sofa is a real stinker because you go... Yes, and I mean this one, they've also got felt bottoms. I always like to say that, because if they're not going to scratch your worktop or anything.
Nice. Stop warning on this one already. Single figures. A lot of people have checked out on that one straight away.
Lovely Mother's Day gift, isn't it?
Oh, it really is.
I know it's a while
yet,
yet, but I noticed some things in places as I drove up in the dark this morning. Places to book your lunch for Mother's Day.
It's not another way. It's the 20th of March, isn't it?
Oh, I don't know.
22nd.
I don't know.
22nd of March, which is literally a couple of weeks
No
away
time.
now. So that one, very, very limited. I think because we've listed everything on the website, by the way, already, there's lots of things that are selling, especially the stitch book. So do make the most of that. That is about to sell out. If you go onto the website, www.sewingstreet.com, look underneath the live feed and you can see everything that's on the table. So you can almost like pre-order and reserve your place. So the cat, which is also new.
Yes, so this is the same principle. Got a box with a felt bottom.
Nice little trinket box, actually,
Yes,
just
absolutely.
to keep your little bits and bobs.
But if this is on your work table, you can be using your gold needle and just ta-da!
Or equally, like we did this earlier, if they're on the table,
Yes.
just a
or
quick
on the floor.
or on the floor, a quick sweep round.
Exactly.
It's got a really nice strong
Exactly.
magnet.
Yeah, the magnets are fiendish actually. When we see them, when they come in, these are made in Gloucestershire, by the way. I must just get that out there because people always assume China, but these are made in Gloucestershire. I go and pick them up, and they're handcrafted and hand finished. And the magnets are inside, so it's resin and then it's stained to look like mahogany. You don't use liquid polish on these; you just dust them.
Oh, okay.
Because you would eventually rub the colour off.
Yeah,
I mean, they are just stained. But don't chop any trees down, aren't they sweet?
Oh, I just look at the cat. He's so cute.
And if you're giving them as a present, a word of advice: either put a pin or a paperclip on
they
the
wouldn't
top.
know.
Because people put them on a shelf and wonder why you've sent them an ornament.
Yeah, exactly. That's so useful as well. I love an ornament that's useful. £19.99. It's brand new. And, oh my word, again, single figures left. That's it. It's another one that's about to sell out. So just be aware that is about, both of those boxes are about to go. Okay, is it time yet? Let's just do it because so many people I know have already asked for this.
This is the last time I'm doing this. Okay, the stitch book, the reason I say that is I wanted to produce something pocket size or work bag size. I wanted it ring bound and I wanted one stitch on a page. Now you can't persuade a publisher this has got legs at all, I'm glad to say. So I was able to do my own thing. Now, my lovely Ethan has designed this for us. It includes hard hanger embroidery.
Oh, brilliant. Which we've seen before. We are going to go on to actually.
We're going
as well.
to squeeze it in, I hope. Yes. So basically what we've done is produce something with an alphabetical list of stitches for you. And the reason I say it's the last one, this is the largest ring. I've got the most paper in this ring that I can get in now.
Yeah.
And if I go up to the next size, it's going to have to be about another 20, 30 pages.
Right. So
And this isn't a pocket book anymore. So this is my stitch version. And I mean, we've got how to make things like, let me just go to the back.
it's signed as well, I've just noticed.
Oh,
This is
yes,
another one
yes,
that's
they're all
signed.
signed.
Value for money's brilliant.
Twisted cords, making tassels, making one of the biscornoos.
Oh, yeah, brilliant. Oh, so you've got lots of projects in here as well.
Making a what bow.
Which was one of these.
Yes. Making the humbug shape. Mounting needlework, making cards. This is a useful little thing.
Ah, so I said earlier, how do you know?
When you've got this pile of needles on your work table, these are life size.
So you can literally put them next on top of it?
Yes.
Oh, that's
and
good.
just check.
Brilliant.
There's DMC to Madeira here, should you need it. What else can I tell you? I mean, we've started the book with cross-stitch on Ada and linen.
It's great to take on the go to your workshops
Well,
or if
yes.
you're going on
and
holiday, if you're
I've
travelling.
seen some very dog-eared copies at workshops, I have
Right.
to tell you. People come along, and I mean, as I said, this is the fourth and final version of this. There isn't any need to do another one, I don't think. There's the Cross Stitcher's Bible with all the meat in it, and this is just my refresh.
This is to work from.
Yeah, it's to work from,
yeah.
and there's a little bit of scribble space, so if you wanted to...
So you see people, making their own
Oh,
chart,
yes,
jotting
yes.
notes and highlighting bits.
Yes, and
It's your
highlighting
book,
bits
isn't
they
it?
like, yes. And so, and Jenny, my lovely editor, surprised me with that, with the Jane G, because that is my signature.
Oh,
and it's
perfect.
everywhere.
But again,
and I've
you have
signed it for you.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, thank you very, very much. I know a lot of people wanted to get hold of that one. It's £12.99. Don't forget to check out as soon as you can, because that will, again, another one that will sell out, I'm sure. Over 120 stitches in there, beautiful techniques and great tips. Step-by-step hardanger, hem stitching primer. You've got so many different techniques in there to learn. It's like Jane with you in your pocket as you go along.
Well, it says in the beginning, you know, that this isn't necessarily the correct way to do it. I've said at the beginning, you know, I mean, I'm a self-taught charlatan who loves doing it and does it every day. And all I can say is that these are the best ways I've discovered to make the stitches. And we have some success with it. So that's all I'm saying, really. And if you get stuck, and I mean, I'm not joking that there are occasions when one stitch that I always go is there's a hem stitch you can use. In fact, I'm going to show it to you in the strawberry book.
Oh yeah, we are going to go on to this one next, actually.
This one round the edge here.
Yeah.
Every time I settle down to do that, I'm there going, okay, you go there. And I end up going, oh, for heaven's sake. It's just one that I don't use that often, but then use it a lot, you know, in a batch. And it's a very useful stitch because you can cut the fabric, you know, it makes you an edge that you can cut right off. But sometimes you just think, I don't know how to start it. And then you just refresh by going back to the book.
Yeah, that's, I think at whatever point you're always learning, and we can't all remember every stitch, can we?
Nope,
so it's nice to have that reference point. Shall we go on to the Strawberry Cottage books? This is so beautiful. Over half the stock of the book has gone now, by the way. Over half the stock of the book has now gone. This is absolutely beautiful. We love this.
It was one of our classes for the Cross Stitch Guild, so members got this over a period of 4 magazines. Oh, and it's like a needlework class.
Yeah.
So you start your project with a cover, and then you put that away in your work bag, and then you start the next page, and so on and so on, gradually working your way through.
This is hardanger.
This is hardanger. Now every single section has got full instructions, and each little page, that's a page on its own.
Right.
So you have a piece of fabric to work, and if you look, that's actually one piece of fabric. And it's joined so you don't see the back of the stitching.
Oh, I mean, these are
so
like
each little
areas.
Section is a manageable chunk.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, this is something you could just do over time. A bit here and a bit there. Pick it up and put it down. I love that you've got different textures in here with your beads.
And we've seen some wonderful ones finished, you know. That's what's so exciting for me. I'll be up at the Stitch Festival at the end of the week. And when people bring pieces that they've done... it's just magic, and you see the way they've personalised it.
Yeah,
you know, someone's done something slightly different.
Do you find that people bring
We see lots of finished things.
Oh, absolutely. So if you have any of Jane's pieces,
bring them along.
Yeah, bring them along.
Come and moan about something to me.
This is weighty, isn't it? You've got so much in here.
Yes, it's a good bundle. This one.
You've got all of your pre-stranded cotton.
Yes,
pre-sorted cotton, I should say. Pre-sorted cotton. Is this on linen then?
This one's on linen. Because you need linen to make all the things.
There's less than 20 of these, by the way, just so you know, there is less than 20 of these. You've got so much in here. All of your charts, all of your instructions. I like that you've kind of sort of upscaled it so you can see each and individual square.
Yes, they're beautifully done. I mean, you know, the technology compared to when I started, I mean, it's marvellous now. You've got these wonderful pages to work from.
It is a lot clearer.
Yes, of course.
So you have, of course, all of your charts.
Your fabric.
You've added gold-plated needles again in here.
It's a treat there, look. So you've got a cover and the pieces for the pages. And then you've got the lining, the silk that goes behind the hardangery bits.
Is that a bit of a... They're like silk, aren't they?
Yes.
Beautiful.
And in here, this is pure silk. This one's a hand-dyed pure silk. This is 12-ply silk. So it's pure silk, and it's especially for some of the detail areas. If I can just find you a little section.
So this is great that you can just get home and just do it. You don't need any other specialised technical equipment.
It's just there for you, look. I mean, I was thrilled to bits with this. I mean, a strawberry is it's quite an iconic shape. If you look back to early 15th and 16th century samplers, they're often including strawberries and berries and things like that. So, and acorns, those things are so often included in old embroideries that I wanted to do something with strawberry.
And what's this stitch?
Oh, these are hemstitches. This is diamond hemstitch. This is another one that when I'm doing it, I have to flip the book open.
Right.
Because I know you pull threads out there and there, and then the stitches work down the middle, down like a little island. Mm-hmm. But I always have to get the book out to remember which way things go. So there's somersault stitch there, ladder hem stitch. So these, again, this is not a first project. You must have worked from a chart before, but it is not difficult. If you can count to 4, you can finish that.
There you go. Have a go.
What else can I tell you?
Have a go. Pick it up, put it down. Don't overwhelm yourself by trying to do it all in a weekend.
I do say to people when they open the box, and I say, OK, you're going to start so just work the cover, which is in cross stitch.
Yeah.
I show you how to make the pretty hem around the edge, but you don't need to do that at the time. You can put it on one side, work the next little thing in the next page, and so on and so on. By the time you're at the end of the book, you're more than capable of putting the whole thing together.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
It's learnt in bite-sized pieces. That's the important thing.
That's it. Yeah, take it step by step, and watch all of Jane's shows back as well. Remember, they're on YouTube, and they stay there, don't they? So I know that Jane always gives us great tips. Now, we wanted to do this at the start. Because
we got distracted.
We've only got 25. When I came downstairs and I saw all the goodies that you bought us, the first thing that I picked up was this. As the hour goes on, of course, more people join us. Now, I know that this is going to sell out very, very quickly. I do not want to rush you or press you, but what I'm about to show you will be the first time this has ever been seen on television.
It is, absolutely.
And it's absolutely gorgeous. Are you ready? Look at this. We love this.
So this is a black work embroidery.
Gosh.
So it's cross stitch and it's double running stitch and back stitch effectively. And black work was originally commonly done during Tudor times to imitate lace. And it was often done in black and gold to be very decorative. Now that picture was actually inspired by a square in Warsaw.
I love that.
Well, I get these ideas. Sometimes the ideas come out of the blue, but Bill and I were in Warsaw, and I was looking at this amazing square of old buildings, which were drawn on. Yeah. Patterns were drawn on the plaster. And then we discovered they were built since the war.
Gosh, right.
They were all copies of what was there before the city was flattened. And they'd used Canaletto paintings to work out how the building used to look. Oh. I mean, it's staggering. Yeah. And of course, the fact the buildings were painted like that meant it had to be black work. Yeah. Oh. It was just intended somehow.
Oh, it is so impressive, isn't it? So what do we get in the kit? We're well into the teens, by the way.
Yes, it's so you get your linen and you get the black thread and this very good quality metallic, gold metallic.
Oh yeah, you get the gold metallic thread in it as well, which is beautiful.
This is a lovely gold thread. Most of you who've stitched before will know gold's a bit of a brute, really. Some of them split and the gold comes off, and it's all very unsatisfactory. This is a very nice one made by Madeira. And you just use this as it comes out of the bundle. And then the stranded cotton, the embroidery threads, you split as usual.
Which needles do you use with your metallic threads?
You could use a 24 or 26. Okay. It'll be fine. It'll be fine.
Look at it. Look at the detail on that. And I mean, you can't see it as well on camera, but the metallic thread really makes it.
It does glisten, yes.
Oh, it's gorgeous.
It's a bit of fun, isn't it?
Oh, of course, this is about to sell out. It will sell out today. Be aware, if you've got it in your basket, check out as soon as you can. I knew how popular this one would be. It just looks amazing. Imagine as a gift for somebody that's just moved home or something, or a special
And the
gift.
thing about the joy for me about County Cross Stitch is that you've got the chart when you've got it, and if you want to just work one of those houses, why not? Later. Do a single house for somebody. Why not?
That's it. Yeah. Once you've got the chart, this isn't just for one-time use. Then you've got
you've got the chart to use for other things, and one of those little houses would fit in a good-sized card. So it is very pretty. Very pretty. No, I'm very fond of it, I must say. I was very, very pleased with it. And, you know, drawing it was fun, and my memories of the place was fun, and I had the pictures of the houses around me while I fiddled about, you know. So it was lovely.
I know that, of course, over the last couple of weeks, it has been a bit of a whirlwind, so we've tried... Look, can you see the little... Look! Sorry, I got really excited then. Love this. Yeah, we've had quite a crazy couple of weeks, so we've tried to get together as much as we can. We wanted more of these, but
there was just time limitations, I have to say.
So absolutely make the most of it whilst what we've got is what we've got. This isn't just, you know, a couple of them for today's show, and we're going to be bringing back more tomorrow. This is everything that we have available. This is everything we've got
at the moment, I'm afraid, yes.
We'll try and get more, but check out as soon as you can. It's £22.99, and of course in your kit you get everything that you need to get started. One of our favourites, absolutely one of our favourites. Shall we go over to the poppy, the red poppy?
Yes,
what
do.
Now this is a classic, Jane, isn't
yes.
it?
And this is again something ideal if you've never stitched and you want to get cracking. Work this poppy wobbo for yourself. You're going to work 3 little squares. That's all you have to do. I will show you what the chart looks like.
So cool. And so you use it as a little scissor keeper.
Yes. I'll put it the right way around, so I will remember this eventually.
Yeah.
When we change cameras, no doubt,
Absolutely.
when I've got the hang of it. Right, so you work these 3 images. That's all there is to it.
Right.
And
so
then,
you do the 3 squares.
Just
and
like
then,
that.
Yeah.
So each one of these is a full cross stitch. There are a couple of fractional stitches there just to make that little bud look that shape. That's just a little repeating pattern. Mm-hmm. So it's pure cross stitch all the way through. There's the colours, very simple to sort. Start there, fold the fabric into 4, start with that little rosebud in the middle, or poppy, and there you go.
Oh,
you can stitch and make that up in an evening, because I did.
There you go. You can do it in a day. Just something
really
nice
can.
to sit and do
Isn't
a bit
it nice?
It's nice to do a bit of slow stitching, isn't it? We live in such a fast-paced world.
Yes, just sit down for a minute and have a go. And then in here we've got, this is our wonderful Ethan again, his marvellous diagrams. You know, when I started stitching, the books available didn't show the fabric background, they just showed the stitches. Mm-hmm. And they never showed the needle. So it was often quite difficult to work out what was happening. Whereas, you know, he's so careful to show.
Technology,
Absolutely. And also drawing the fabric and realising that we're counting on the threads. Mm-hmm. We need to see the threads as well.
Yeah.
If you're doing surface embroidery with a transfer, you're filling the transfer. Mm-hmm. The fabric isn't relevant as such. Whereas this, we have to physically count the threads, so we need to see them. And there's how to put your wobbo together at the end and how to make a little bit.
Is this again on linen?
Yes, it's on linen, yes. And it's not difficult to see.
No.
It really isn't.
No, it isn't. That's why I asked, actually. It's because I can really clearly see each strand. You can see each thread, can't you?
Absolutely.
Each square. And that's just £12.99, and it does include the scissors as well. It does,
look, you get these. And I warn you, they might look like dolly scissors, they're not, they're fiendishly sharp.
I know it sounds silly, but actually they're really lovely little embroidered scissors because they've got the big...
Yes, yeah, you see, I've got big hands, look.
Same
I've
to
got
fit your
big
thumbs.
hands.
Normally with mini scissors, they have little mini rings for your fingers, don't they?
They're hopeless.
They're really handy, and they're really lovely and point right to the tip. And I mean, these are all things that you would think, oh, well, surely all scissors do that. But actually, you wouldn't realise what a difference it makes to just have those extra sharp scissors. So £12.99 just for those scissors, I think, is brilliant anyway.
Yes, absolutely.
That is brilliant.
Absolutely.
Right, shall we do the Catherine Archer?
Oh, well, I'd love to show this because I've got my old sampler as well.
We've got it on linen, and we've also got it on Ada, actually, haven't we?
Yes.
So let me bring this in. Look at this. This is what I think of when I think of classic cross-stitch.
Alphabet samplers. Now, if you just reach the picture on there and give them a challenge of holding that up to camera, because it's got glass in. There, look at that. Now, that little one that Vic's got is actually the original done by Catherine Archer when she was an orphan in Bristol at the Muller Orphanages. We know that she was born in Shotley in Northumberland, of labouring folk. Her mother died of puerperal fever when she was 6 weeks old, and her dad lasted till she was 3. And somehow she went from Shotley, Northumberland to Bristol No one knows how. She joined the orphanage in 1867 when she was 7 and went on to go into service in Blackheath in London when she was 14.
So when was it, do you think, that this was stitched?
So she stitched it between 1867 and her 14th birthday. And I have to tell you,
lady, this?
Yes, it's my pride and joy. To keep your sticky mitts off. This was stitched by Catherine, and when you look at that fabric, ladies and gentlemen, just be aware that is 70 count linen.
Oh,
and we're talking. This is 28. This one. Sorry, I can't do it.
The one.
This one.
Your one. The one that you're holding.
The one I'm holding, is 28 count linen.
Right. So her eyesight must have been amazing.
And it just goes to prove nobody can tell me they can't see linen. Now, poor lighting, poor needles, poor nutrition, and the alphabet at the top of yours.
Yeah.
Is the one I've used at the bottom of mine.
Right, okay.
To give you an idea of the scale.
Oh, I absolutely love it. Right,
so
let's have a look at the
that's a little
bottom of yours.
sample.
That is brilliant. Thank you for bringing that in. It really is.
Very special. I love it.
Let's have a look at your one again. Sorry.
So this is a sample from Catherine's work. So it's all from an orphanage sampler, and believe it or not, it was dunked in tea when it was stitched. Black tea.
Why would you do that?
Well,
just to give it an age look.
Make it look old.
It looks brilliant.
Isn't it fun?
Oh, it's absolutely
brilliant.
So
that's certainly, you could work that on linen or Ada as a beginner.
So the graphics are in for the linen one. So in here, you've got your linen.
Yes.
This one's linen, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Yeah. So even though you've got linen, it's the creamer sort of colour.
Yes, it's a nice cream colour, and you work over 2 fabric threads and you just use the red. We call it schoolhouse red because it is so often used for school samplers.
If I want to tea dunk it, would I do it before I've stitched or
no, after?
After you've stitched.
And that is an interesting one because since the rules on dyeing substances have altered with ecological climate change things, red is a slightly dodgy one. So I would just test the red thread with a white tissue, damp, just give it a little squeeze, and if there's any colour, obviously don't dunk it. This was certainly dunked in black tea. I remember doing it.
There you go. So dunk it afterwards.
All right.
$17.99 for your linen option on Ada. So it will still be exactly the same size.
Yes, exactly the same size.
And you get plenty of thread
yards
as well.
of thread, yes. And our free phone number on the packet.
There you go. if you need more.
If there's a crisis, you can always ring.
Now, with the same, I know this is a silly question, but I'm going to ask anyway. Ada and linen, can I dunk Ada at the same as I do linen? Yeah?
Absolutely.
Should
Should you want to. I was just being a bit eccentric. I wanted to buy an old sampler at the time.
Yeah.
So I wanted to make mine look old.
Oh, no, I think it looks brilliant, doesn't it? And this is, as I say, what I think of when I think of a classic cross-stitch piece. And just thinking about it, you've also got the chart for the alphabet then.
Absolutely,
so
forever.
Make your own cards, anything,
yes,
personalised pieces. It's really lovely to know that you've got. That's just £17.99. Let's talk about Hardanger. Because we've mentioned it a few times today already. This is a really beautiful technique. Would somebody, is it still counted as cross-stitch?
If you're American, it would be,
right,
because they refer to cross-stitch and it covers anything that's counted. Here, we tend to regard it as a separate craft. This technique here is where you've worked a framework on the linen and then you cut the fabric threads, and that's the bit you usually hear the cry of anguish from people who are having to learn how to cut. But it's actually terribly straightforward and very simple to do. And this technique is still used today in Norway for traditional costume.
Yeah.
And some of you I know will remember John Scott, who
absolutely.
from Surrey Quarter. Well, John's ex-partner from centuries ago was a Norwegian, and he actually had the costume with all the all the little pieces cut out and whatever. So this little book is the first steps to doing Hardanger, and it shows you with pictures and with diagrams how simple it is to do. It's in stages, they're signed.
Oh, fabulous. There you go. Another one that's signed for you. And ring bound as well, so you can work from it.
Absolutely. This was published by our own publishing house, Pink's Press, and this is absolutely about. This is the costume illustrations. You see, all this area here would be this technique.
It's absolutely gorgeous, isn't it? So this was used originally in costume.
Absolutely, and
in
the costumes are still worn today. If I can get as far as that little first section, bear with me 1 minute. There we go. So what we did was that's the diagram, and that's the stitch. There's the knot. There's the straight lines. There's the needle. So you can work, and the idea was to work through this really hands-on little, and even white on white, which I know the photographer was thrilled with, showing how to run your needle across to check you're matching, how to finish off on the back.
Real comprehensive step by step.
Where to cut, how to cut. That's what you're left with when you've cut. That's how it's decorated. And then that's what you've made.
Oh, I love it.
So you actually put that on your scissors. So the first thing you've stitched, you're using immediately.
Absolutely. Have a go, because it is such a beautiful finish. Look at the little sweetie bag. That's so beautiful, isn't it? And actually, quite a simple technique that looks
yes, it looks terribly clever.
difficult.
I love a technique that looks hard.
Yeah.
Because you can
do it. That's it.
Oh, you know.
They're beautiful. They're the ones that my mum loved. Very, very quickly, the box that we started with, we've got less than a minute, so we're just going to squeeze in, because this was brand new. We absolutely loved it, and it's truly inspirational work. Watch this. This is the magic.
Isn't it smashing? It always has the R factor.
Oh, we love it. So you've got your little watt bow.
Yes.
Your pin cushion.
Yes.
Little pockets for your tools, for your needles, in such a beautiful box. And there is a kit to make all of this. There is a kit to make it all. For £54.99, you get everything that you need.
Absolutely.
Even
and
down
the
to the needles, the scissors,
yes,
everything. Absolutely beautiful. Thank you so much for bringing all these goodies in for us.
Thank you. It's
we
been
absolutely
great.
love having you here. And thanks to and love to Andrea as well. You need to bring her in.
I'm doing my best.
Yes.
I'm working on her.
She needs to come in. Thank you very much.
She's very shy.
We'll leave this for you.
Thank you.
Give me a big cuddle. Thank you, Jane. We love having you here.
Thanks. See you again soon.
This is how you can make the most of all of those incredible, incredible products, whether it be the books, whether it be, I think there's a couple of options of getting the black work collection left, but they are about to sell out. It's just amazing, isn't it? Look at that. Gosh, I'd love that on my wall, hint, hint, hint. Doesn't it look amazing? I need to stitch it, don't I? That's your black work collection from the Cross Stitch Guild. Brand new today. Make the most of that whilst you can. £22.99. Also something that's extremely limited. The little bear, the little cat, there's literally a couple of those left as well, and they were brand new to us as well. Single figures on both of those. The lovely bear with JG, Jane Greenoff. How lovely are they? So they are extremely limited. Do remember, send in all of your messages to our Facebook page, Sewing Street TV. We love to hear from you. We're getting more excited by the day. We've got so much happening behind the scenes. Something that is happening, actually, that I should make you aware of is that we are moving channels tomorrow. You can watch us as normal tomorrow at 9 a.m. So we're still live, the same channel 73 at 9 till 10. And then at some point during the afternoon, I think it's about 1 or 2 o'clock, the channel will move. Just one channel up to 74 on Freeview. So you can still watch us again every single day. If you have any problems, it might be that you need to retune your TV, but what I would do is call the customer service team, message us on Facebook, and we can help you with that. But you will be able to find us from Thursday morning on channel 74. It will be called Shopping Quarter, Sewing Street. You'll be able to find us there. Also, what else did I want to mention? Tomorrow's show, we've got loads of brand new products that have just arrived in that are coming up all tomorrow. I think I'm on my own tomorrow. No, is it Noel tomorrow? It's either Noel tomorrow or Thursday. I think Noel's here from Crafted Products here on Thursday. Tomorrow, I've got so many amazing products to bring you, so do make sure you join me. There is an hour of a replay to enjoy. Yesterday's replay, which was Susan Briscoe. So if you love a bit of hand stitching, if you love cross stitching, if you love Sashgo or Kogan, we've got a brilliant show that we had yesterday available. Take advantage of all of the products, though. Remember, it's one postage and packaging all day long. And I will see you again tomorrow morning. Thank you so much for your company today. Have a great day. We'll see you tomorrow on Channel 73 still tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock. See you then.